Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel today. My name is Christian and today we're here to talk about the new record from Animals as Leaders. It is titled The Madness of Many. That's right, one of the best and biggest prog rock bands in the world are back with a new record, and I am here to tell you about it because, I mean, obviously you guys give a fuck what my opinion is. Now, for those of you who don't know who Animals as Leaders are, they're an instrumental prog rock band. They're a three-piece. They've had other members in the past, but they've all come and gone, and so this is actually the first Animals as Leaders record that I've fully gotten into and fully delved into and listened to the whole thing from start to finish, and I'm really excited to share with you what I think about it. This is a really good record. It has some flaws, but overall I found myself really enjoying this record, and this record is truly the definition of a musician's record. People who are musicians who are watching this now, if you're listening to this record, I can guarantee that you're going to find enjoyment in it in some regard. I'm not sure what that could be, but definitely if you're a musician like me, you're going to really appreciate this record. So let's get into it. Arithmophobia opens up this record really well. It's a song full of different time signatures, and it opens up so frantically, and I love that about this song. This song then brings itself down to this softer, mellower section that has this great guitar solo that goes on for about 2 minutes. It is truly the highlight of the track, and honestly, for this entire song, it's all the members of the band just going as hard as they can, going at 11 for the entire track, and I love it. It's one of the best on this record, sorry. Ectogenesis is the next track on the record, and it opens up with this really cool synth part, which then melds its way into being the bass part. The bass actually plays the synth part, and that is just so impressive. Once you hear it, you'll know just how impressive it is that the bass player can play this melody, and he does it so well. This track is a bit less frantic, it's a bit more melody and groove driven, and it really makes a point to highlight the guitar playing, which is something that I really enjoy in this track. Basically, for this record, if you want to hear three guys going as hard as they can, showing you everything they can do within 52 minutes, then this is definitely the record for you. But in saying that, there is a lot more to this record. There is some absolutely great songwriting all the way throughout this entire thing, and it really shows why these three guys are some of the three best players in the world. Cognitive Contortions is the next track on this record, and it really shows off what their bass player can do. The opening riff for this track is so instantaneous and just hooks you in straight away and gets you ready for this track. Another thing I like about this track is the use of ambient guitars just subtly throughout this entire song. It really helps to thicken out the sound and really works for this song. Inner Assassins is then next up on the record, and for me it's one of the weaker songs on the record. There are only maybe 1 or 2 tracks on this entire record which I feel are a bit weaker than the others, and I think that's because on this track they don't really evolve past the original first idea on this track. Kind of stays at the same pace, the same riff idea kind of thing for the entire track. Does that mean that this song is bad? Absolutely not. It is actually a well-written song, but for me it just doesn't vary enough for a song that is completely instrumental. Private Visions of the World is another really great song. It's very varied, very disjointed, and seems unorganized, but it does it in such a very creative way that I love it. It really does feel all over the place for the first maybe 2 minutes of this track, but I love it, and I can't see people not enjoying it. I can see people being confused by it, but I feel like that's one of the points of Animals as Leaders, and this is a great example of that. It has a real jazz feel to this track, and the clean guitar throughout this entire song is absolutely beautiful, and around the halfway point of this track there is a incredible guitar solo, which is truly one of the best moments on this record. For me, there are moments on this record that I don't really love the guitar tone that they're using. For me, at points throughout this record, it really does get a bit too twangy for my taste. For me, this would be highlighted in sections of Cognitive Contortions, as well as the clean sound in Inner Assassins. Then we get on to the next track on this record that I'm not going to even try to pronounce this word. It is absolutely fucked. I have no idea what the word is. I'm just going to call this one track 6. This track has some great riffs throughout this song that really help the song to flow really well. As well as that, the reoccurring theme and riff on this track really help to move the song along. Transcentience is another highlight on the record. There are some amazing guitar flourishes throughout this entire track, but the real highlight of this song is that the guitar flourishes that they do use don't take away from the flow of the song and don't take away from everything else that everyone else in the band is doing, and it really doesn't cut off any flow. It still grooves along even when the guitar player is doing these incredibly technical things. The real glue to this record is the drumming, and while it's not overly flashy or anything like that, there's no real moments where you go, oh, that's some incredible drumming. He really hooks in and really drives these songs along, and without the drumming that is on this record, I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much. I would have felt like it was a bit too disjointed at times and felt like the guitars were taking away from the songwriting as a whole, but with that massive backbeat going on behind these tracks, it really, really works. This record feels like more of a collection of individual songs, and it's really kind of an insult to call these songs. They're more of, I mean, this is going to sound just very pompous and very arrogant, but they do feel like just individual art pieces, and usually I would like a record to feel like a record, but for this record to feel like just individual art pieces, I think it really works for the kind of music that Animals as Leaders play. The album does go for a little too long though. It does drag towards the halfway point. It feels like they could have cut this song by maybe 2 tracks. A good example of this is an album that came out earlier this year by Pliny called Handmade Cities, where he's also an instrumental prog artist, but he cut his album down to 8 tracks. I felt like I would have enjoyed the album a little bit more if it had been a little bit shorter, because at points it does drag a little. The Glass Bridge is the next track on this record, and it kind of opens as if it's already halfway through the song. It's kind of startling at first. Having said that, this is a really, really good track, and the guitar playing throughout this entire song is absolutely mind-blowing. I really, really like the pace of this track, and to be honest, it kind of feels a lot more straight and to the point than some of the other tracks on this record. The Brain Dance is next up on this record and opens up with some absolutely great classical guitar playing, and the classical guitar goes on throughout this entire song. And honestly, I didn't expect this song to sound like this at all from the name. I really did expect a song where my brain was just going to explode out of my head with just technicality. Am I saying that this song isn't technical? Absolutely not. It is extremely technical, but it's not the classic Animals as Leaders thing, and I really do enjoy this song. I really like how it's more softer and intricate and really brings a new flavour into this record. Now I'm going to try and pronounce this next name. Arithmophobia is the final track on the record, and it really does close the record out nicely. Having said that, it does kind of feel like an afterthought of the Brain Dance, which kind of does take away from the track as a whole. Honestly, it's basically just a 5-minute classical guitar solo, and while that is interesting and really cool, and a nice way to finish off the record, I feel like they could have finished with the Brain Dance. Overall, this is another impressive record from Animals as Leaders. While it's not something that I'm going to choose to listen to all the time, it is something really cool to listen to for 50 minutes if you have the time to do so. They continue to do what they do at the very highest level, and they are definitely the best instrumental prog band in the world, in my opinion. If you're into progressive music, definitely go and check it out, and if you're a musician who loves great musicianship, then this is definitely the record for you. My top 3 tracks are going to be Arithmophobia, The Brain Dance, and Transcentience, and I'm going to give this record a 3.5 out of 5. Anyway, what did you guys think about the record? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. Did you like the record? Did you not like the record? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Let's have a conversation about music, because that's what we're here to do. But if you're just going to fill up the comments section with hate and insults, just know that I'm going to look at your comments and laugh at how pathetic your life is. Anyway, thanks for watching my video today. Please hit subscribe down below, and I'll see you next time. Fresh Currents.